Tell me timeline. Where the stuff has come from the past to current. Back in 1476, Spanish explorer Diego Garca de Herrera establishes Santa Cruz de Marpeque, a short-lived coastal trading post. On 1600s, local Sahara Berber and Hassaniya Arabic-speaking tribes control the trans-Saharan trade routes. The Moroccan Alawite dynasty asserts intermittent religious allegiance and loose political ties over various Saharan tribes. On 1884, the Berlin Conference triggers the scramble for Africa. Spanish representative Emilio only signs treaties with coastal chiefs, officially establishing a Spanish protectorate over Rio de Oro. On 1934, Spain merges the coastal zones and interior regions to formally establish the province of Spanish Sahara. On 1956-1957, Morocco gains independence from France. King Mohammed V immediately asserts centuries-old sovereignty claims over the Spanish Sahara. On 1963, large-scale exploitation of rich phosphate reserves begins at Bukra, dramatically raising the economic value of the territory. On 1965, the UN General Assembly passes Resolution 2072, categorizing Western Sahara as a non-self-governing territory and urging Spain to decolonize it. On 1975, the Polisario Front, Popular Front for the Liberation of Sagia El Hamra and Rio de Oro, is founded by indigenous Sahrawi nationalists to launch an armed struggle against Spanish rule. On October 1975, the International Court of Justice, ICJ, issues an advisory opinion. It acknowledges historical ties of allegiance between local tribes and Morocco/Mauritania, but rules these do not constitute territorial sovereignty, affirming the Sahrawis' right to self-determination. On November 1975, King Hassan II rejects the ICJ ruling and launches the Green March, sending roughly 350,000 unarmed Moroccans across the border to claim the land. Spain, eager to avoid conflict, signs the secret Madrid Accords, dividing administration between Morocco, north, and Mauritania, south. On 1976, Spain completely withdraws. The Polisario Front proclaims the independence of the Sahrawi Arab Democratic Republic, SADR, operating a government in exile from refugee camps in Tindouf, Algeria. A 16-year guerrilla war breaks out. On 1979, devastated by Polisario attacks, Mauritania signs a peace treaty and renounces all territorial claims. Morocco immediately moves in and annexes the southern sector. On 1987, Morocco constructs a 2,700-kilometer sand wall, the berm, heavily fortified with landmines and artillery. This effectively splits the region, leaving Morocco in control of 80% of the territory, including resources, and isolating the Polisario into the eastern desert. On 1991, the UN brokers a ceasefire. It establishes MINURSO, United Nations Mission, for the referendum in Western Sahara, tasked with organizing a population vote on independence or integration with Morocco. On 1992-2000s, the proposed referendum continuously stalls due to bitter disputes over voter eligibility, specifically whether Moroccan settlers should be permitted to vote. On 2007, Morocco shifts strategy and proposes its autonomy plan, offering local self-governance under strict Moroccan sovereignty. Polisario and its primary backer, Algeria, flatly reject the proposal, insisting on an independence option. On November 2020, Moroccan forces clear a peaceful Sahrawi protest blocking a strategic border highway in the Gergerat buffer zone. The Polisario Front declares the 29-year ceasefire officially nullified and resumes low-intensity hostilities. On December 2020, the United States under the Trump administration formally recognizes Moroccan sovereignty over Western Sahara as part of the Abraham Accords, normalizing Morocco-Israel relations. The Biden administration subsequently upholds this position. On 2024, major Western power shift alignments. France and Spain joined the U.S. in endorsing Morocco's autonomy plan as the only credible framework. Conversely, the European Court of Justice strikes down EU-Morocco trade deals, ruling that extracting fish and phosphates from Western Sahara without Sahrawi consent violates international law. On October 2025, the UN Security Council adopts Resolution 2797, extending MINURSO's mandate until October 31, 2026. The resolution heavily emphasizes Morocco's autonomy plan as a viable baseline for negotiation, triggering formal objections and abstentions from traditional Polisario allies like Algeria and Russia. And on 2026, the conflict enters a critical geopolitical phase. While international diplomatic pressure mounts to close the dispute under Moroccan regional autonomy, low-level drone strikes and rocket skirmishes persist along the berm, leaving over 170,000 Sahrawis remaining in desert refugee camps. See you in Isla Update, Argentina timeline that I had to go through.